Hey everyone, this is Jordan Arell. Not planning to post this video, but you never know what'll happen. Uh, Today I'm just doing a exercise on healing circumcision trauma, in which I basically just speak about my experience around it. And yeah, here it goes. I have been continuing to be very upset around circumcision and getting in touch with my feelings here, my experience. It's been horrible. It continues to be horrible. It's not as horrible as it used to be. I used to be uh, unable to cope with it in any way, and now I have ways of coping with it, especially when it gets really bad. However, it's still not worth being alive. I mean, even right now, it's not worth. Maybe it's almost a break even. Like there's good days, there's good moments in my life, but it's still just so fucking depressing. It's so traumatic. It's so uh, just depressing. It makes me hate being alive. And yeah, I feel like I have to qualify that. It's like some moments I'm happy to be alive. The more I do this trauma work, the more I notice that um, it's tolerable. If I really go into the pain of genital mutilation every day, it doesn't hurt as bad as it did before, but it's still quite bad. So yeah, at this point, it's not the severity of trauma and the just like horrible, like uncontrollable hatred and rage is still there sometimes, but it's more of like just a depression around it. It's like I touch my penis and I think about my penis and I try to manipulate it and do things with it, and it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. You know, it's like it's very different than other traumas, right? Because it's not just that mental and emotional horror of being raped or molested or um, or in a combat zone. Um, Although there can be physical damage from those things too. But here it's like the physical damage is the trauma. It's most of it. It's most of why it's so horrible is because I try to fucking do things with my sex organ, with what should be my favorite body part, which I used to be my favorite body part before I learned what happened to it. I thought it was great, and I didn't. That was, you know, just the way it was. But when I learned how it's supposed to be, and I see pictures of it, and I know the way it's supposed to glide back and forth, and the way it's supposed to uh, be sensitive and um, how easy it's supposed to be to masturbate and play with myself and pleasure myself, all the fun things that I should be able to do with it, um, that I should be able to do sexually with a partner with it. it and just like knowing all the facts around it too, that it was done to me by my parents at the most vulnerable moment in my life, that it was extremely painful. Um, that there's nothing I can do about it. That society is still approves of it and is doing it massively all around the United States. Um, that this is one of the only countries that does do it, and most people in the world and throughout history and in the future probably won't suffer from this. I'm one of the It's like one of the most rare things in the universe actually to be a victim of genital mutilation. It's a trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a percent of all beings in the universe who are a victim of intentional genital mutilation. It's almost unheard of. It's like the worst luck you can have that happened to me. It's so unbelievably fucked up. Um, that to do that to someone, and throughout history, it's to know that it was done on purpose. It's like it's meant to harm your sexuality. It's meant to make sex more difficult, especially masturbation more difficult and less pleasurable. That was the point. That has been the point. Now that people are finally positive towards sexuality, it's like the messaging has changed, but that's why it's gonna disappear quickly because it doesn't actually work. It does harm your sexuality. And I'm one of the last fucking dinosaurs who had this horrible fucking thing happen to him, and now I live in a fucking society where we all believe sexual pleasure is good and great, but I'm suffering from genital mutilation that was meant to destroy my pleasure and my sexuality. Like it's so fucking horrible. It's so hellish. It's a fucking nightmare. It's literally my worst. I fucking hate being alive. I really, really fucking hate existing and being this human being. It's like there's stuff I should be happy about. I'm writing this book on healing relation trauma, and it's good. It's a book. It's the first book like this ever written on one of the worst trauma experience and heal it. And I'm happy that it helped a lot of people, and I'm gonna do a lot of other good stuff in my life to help a lot of people. Like overall, net, like I hate fucking being alive. I hate being Jordan Norell. It sucks. It's the worst fucking. Okay, I keep on dream, and I know it's not true. It's not like it's the worst thing that could have happened to me. There's other people who are in pretty pretty bad situations out there, severe and permanent psychosis or severe chronic physical pain that they can't escape, um, like severe chronic emotional pain, but it's not constant, at least, um, it's not all the time, and I'm actually figuring out ways to solve that mental and emotional pain. uh, I think part of why it's so bad is that I have an immense capacity for pleasure and for goodness and happiness, and I'm extremely sensitive and have a lot of potential and good qualities, potentially at least. And so, and I am in a privileged place in the universe too. I'm one of the most privileged people who have ever lived yet, and just in terms of wealth and luxuries and whatnot. Um, and so where was it going with that? I think in a way though it makes it um, just it makes the genital mutilation worse. You know, if I was um, if just my whole life sucked and like, oh, and I have genital mutilation is another thing, and it's like just part of the horror of my life. But it's like my life actually has, uh, well, actually, no, there's a lot of shit in my life too. I've had a pretty in a lot of ways, but my life is definitely, or at least has the potential to be very good. And this just like curbs that potential. This like permanent that potential I had to like have a really fucking good life, at least in the second half of my life, I think could have been really fucking good. Still could be good if I can regenerate my fucking foreskin, but um, that thing that's just fucking gnawing at me and so unbelievably painful that it's like it takes everything. It's a cruel joke. It's like, oh, you had a great life, you've been successful in your life, a meaningful and happy life, but instead you hate your body, you hate existing, you hate everything, you hate the fucking universe. Sorry. And cut the best part of your dick. The person who cares about sex more than fucking anything. You know, I don't get how people don't. I don't get how anyone can think like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just fucking sex. It's just like sex is the most beautiful thing in the fucking universe, and um, it's sacred. It's highest or highest forms of pleasure. There's a metaphysical beauty. There's a depth. There's a profound goodness that is desecrated and stamped on shit all over it, just mutilated and amputated and cut to by destroying the best fucking part of your. It's the most sensitive, most pleasurable, most fucking beautiful part of your fucking cock. It was perfect. It was fucking perfect, and they destroyed it. I I don't know. I feel that even times I can't insane feel like I'm gonna break into psychosis or something because it's so unimaginably horrible. Um, I just want to kill someone. I'm keep having these like repetitive things where like you know imagine killing killing the suicidal thoughts and my mind. It's not conscious and it's not deliberate, but my mind was trying to go and find blow up the American Pediatrics Conference. Fucking it's so dark and horrible and it's so not me. Like I'm all about love, I'm all about helping people. That's the whole fucking point of my life since I was a little fucking kid. It's all about being love and helping people. And I have this just unimaginably dark shit just constantly going through me. Feels like it's constant. It's not, but in the a traumatic trigger which happens pretty often, it feels like it's everything. Life, all sense of time and perspective just disappears, and I'm just in this unbelievably dark, horrible experience. And I want to get out of that. Obviously, figure out what is required to not all it. And I know the way out. It's to do healing work like this, to let it out continually, to continue expressing it, to continue going into those feelings, to continue processing my thoughts, writing down all the thoughts associated with it, and evaluating, is this really true? I keep reflecting and saying like, well, that's not actually true. And that's important. It's like, it's great to feel and cathart and let all this shit out, but then also reassessing those thoughts is equally important. Maximizing sexual pleasure and finding ways to have sexual pleasure and affirm positively my sexuality and generate love for myself and my body and my experience. I just, saying all this stuff, it's all so positive, and it's like I just feel dreary and depressed and horrible about it. And because I've been doing this for years now, on and off, and maybe I'm just not, maybe that's the problem. It's that it's spotty, and it's like I'll do it and then I'll kind of stop, and then I'll do it and then I'll stop. Maybe I just need to continue doing all these things that reset my brain for a year continually. Even if after 3 or 6 months I'm feeling good every day and I don't feel like I'm traumatized or that I need to keep doing anything. I just need to keep fucking doing it, because every time I stop and I think I'm healed or I think I'm okay, a few days later or at least a few weeks later, it starts to creep back in, and then eventually it's full blown, especially if I'm doing intactivism and trying to prevent circumcision, heal it through regenerative medicine or whatever. It's in my face, and then I uh, I have to go back to doing healing work and back to meditating 3 hours a day and whatnot. So if I just keep with this shit and keep doing it, I think eventually I could maybe permanently reset my brain to where it doesn't go there anymore. And I have a psychological immune system, so that when people are saying, all the things that they say about genital mutilation, and intactivists, giving their spiel about how it affects them and how horrible it is, and when I'm giving the spiel of how horrible it is, at the same time, I think there's a way that you can understand it and say it and express all of that, but simultaneously have a wall where it doesn't actually like affect you in your core, where you're still happy, you're content, you've worked through your trauma, you've let go of your negative thoughts, you've let go of all those um, negative frames and ways of thinking about this. I think there really is a way to do that. I mean, that's why I'm doing this. If I thought that it's not going to do anything, then or that it was just going to continue rubber banding and then going back to the trauma, then I wouldn't do it. I mean, fuck, even if I have to do this for the rest of my life and I have to do trauma therapy for an hour a day forever until I die, like it's still fucking worth it. I mean, if it can really prevent me from feeling so horrible. I forget how bad it is, or I forget that it always goes back to that. And then, once I'm back in the trauma again and in like a really bad place with PTSD and depression, because I haven't been doing the trauma exercises or meditating or whatever, and letting stress get to me, um, it's like I can never believe that I let myself get back into that trauma again, because it's just so fucking bad. It's so bad. It's like the worst experience a person would normally experience, like times 10, just like every day. It's so fucking bad. I can't understand how I forget that, or that I you know take any risk or chance that I might end up back there by not doing enough thorough enough healing work. So anyways, that's uh that's what I'm feeling right now. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's really the trauma has really impacted me in a really negative way, mostly, it would seem. But I do believe in shadow work. It's one of my primary values, actually. And facing darkness and going into the all the trauma and the horror and in the worst places in the world, in myself and in the world, and addressing that darkest, deepest, darkest suffering that there is, and really allowing that to actually inform, inform the light. How better can you learn to use your own light than facing the darkest places, is the idea, basically. And so it's, it seems mostly really fucking bad. It's like, fuck, my body is fucked. The best part of my body, my favorite part of my body is fucked. It is really fucked up. It's just, it's disgusting. My own body disgusts me. I hate it. I hate, I hate my fucking body. I'm disgusted by myself, and I hate myself. Um, because your body is, it's not like a part of yourself, or it is yourself. It is, or it is, I guess, a part of yourself, an important, essential part of yourself. When that dies, a part of you dies. A beautiful, the most beautiful experience I could have as a human being doesn't exist anymore. It's dead. It was murdered. It was brutally fucking murdered, and now I'm the zombie here, fucking walking around trying to cope with the fact that the most human, most beautiful, most pleasurable, ecstatic part of myself is destroyed, and I'm trying to fucking cope with that, um, and exist in spite of that, and be positive or loving and a good person in spite of that. And it's really hard to do that. Um, but I do think that doing that makes me stronger. And, it's like, what's the opportunity cost? I don't know. If I wasn't doing this, maybe I'd be doing something that was much better. I don't know. Maybe I'd be stronger in other ways, and I wouldn't be so dark and hateful and um, incapacitated as a human being. I feel like I'm not effective in my life. I'm 27 years old, almost 28, and I'm like, I just haven't done anything. I feel like I'm kind of a loser and pretty ineffective and shitty. And maybe that's changing now, but I feel pretty horrible about myself in general. And I think if I hadn't had this happen, I probably would be a lot better. But silver lining, I don't know, maybe the horribleness of it, the extreme pain and the unimaginable suffering I've gone through is growing me in a way, or making me stronger in a way, and more, less, it's like having nothing to lose kind of thing, or being through so much suffering in my life that nothing can bother me, or that resilience, or uh, or just not being afraid of anything. Yeah, courage, or um, maybe those things are all coming to me much, much more than is possible through any other way. Maybe there's just no other way that I possibly could have um, gotten those qualities, and gotten so good at working with such a deep trauma. I don't know if I ever, there's a part of me that thinks that maybe as a child, when that happened to me as a baby, and I had my genitals mutilated, and it was, unimaginably painful and horrible for me as a child. Maybe that's what started me wanting to be a good person in the first place. Maybe that darkness and pain is partly why I'm so sensitive and so empathic to people who are suffering. So I don't know. Maybe that's could also be a thing. I don't know. Maybe not. Um, just a wild theory. But but the trauma of genital mutilation, it's certainly, I'm sure there's some positive effect. There's something positive about it that wouldn't have happened otherwise. At the very least, this book I'm writing about healing genital mutilation trauma, I probably wouldn't have, honestly, I don't think I would have gotten involved in the cause if I was intact. I sometimes I feel a lot of hatred and anger toward intact men not involved in the cause, and sometimes even men who are involved in the cause. I feel like they don't really embody the trauma of it, and they don't have as extreme and as of intense a focus on intactivism or feel as strongly about it as people who are victims of genital mutilation, women and intact men. Um, and I sometimes I like resent them. I'm like, why don't you? Obviously, I mean, I would be the same way. I like it's only by being a victim of genital mutilation that you care about it so much, I guess. I mean, I guess so. I think maybe that's somewhat true of all social justice issues. You have to have a very close personal connection to it to care about it so profoundly. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, actually. But it seems like that sometimes that maybe part of why I care about this so much is because I'm a victim of it. On the other hand, if I had my foreskin and was like, oh my God, this is the best thing in the world, like this is literally makes my whole life worth living. I feel like maybe I'd I'd probably be a porn star and make millions of dollars, and I'd probably make billions of dollars because I'd be the top porn star in the world. Um, and then I'd probably uh, donate a few million to foreskin regeneration. Be like, hey, you guys, it sucks to be you. I can't imagine not having my foreskin. Here's a few $1 million to regenerate that. Why not? Regenerate clitoris while I'm at it, labia and everything, intersex. Yeah, take it. I don't need all this money. It's just fucking people are throwing it at me because I'm so sexy. I don't know. I think that's quite possible, actually, but I don't think I'd be as dedicated to the cause, and I don't think I'd. Maybe I wouldn't be dedicated at all. I just wouldn't care. I'd be like, sucks to be you. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I don't know if, yeah. So I think maybe this is helping me to work toward ending genital mutilation and heal it. I certainly wouldn't have the insight into the trauma of it and how to heal that. Um, yeah, it sucks. I feel like it's why I'm not dating and haven't dated for a long time. It's taken away my um, gusto for wanting to be in a sexual and romantic relationship, and that's truly a travesty. It also has taken away a lot of my desire to have kids that I used to have. That was like my top desire. So that's, I mean, truly fucking tragic. I would have been the best dad in the fucking world, dude. I really fucking would have been. And maybe I still will be. But like, I just am so fucking not okay that it's hard to even put myself there and be like, oh yeah, let's go and have some sex and make some kids and it'll be great. We'll have a family. It'll be happy and fun. It's like, fuck. I don't want to be alive. I don't want to think about my cock. I don't want to have a relationship. I don't want to exist. I really don't want to fucking exist. Much less bring other beings into the world who then exist and I have to, breathe enthusiasm into them and show them how great life is. And it's like, it's not great. It sucks. I hate everything. I hate existing. I hate people. I hate women. I hate uh, anyone who has intact genitalia. It's like, fuck you. Fuck life. Fuck God. Fuck the universe. Fuck everything. I don't want to exist. I want to die. I hate I hate the universe. It's so bad. It's not good. It's not a good mind state to be in, and it's not conducive to being in a relationship. I don't feel like I have anything to offer. I don't have any happiness. I don't have. Naturally, I'm extremely sexual and extremely sensitive and caring, and have like unbelievable sexual prowess. But with this, it's just drugged me into a fucking hole, and I don't even want to fucking. I don't even want to make a woman happy. I don't want to give someone pleasure. Um, Whereas that used to be my my favorite part of it is like giving someone else pleasure. It's turned me fucking inside out. I'm so full of hatred and shame and despair and disgust. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I don't know. I don't know if this has any cathartic effect. I'm sure it does. I'm sure that if I do this enough times, it will be positive for me. Maybe I just haven't uh, gotten there yet. um, I'm tired of going through this. I've been tired of going through this for as long as I can remember. So, yeah, that's the healing process. I'm thinking I'm going to end this, and this one isn't a very positive video for the most part, but it's extremely positive to do this healing work. I want to stress that it's not like Jordan's just fucking whining about circumcision again. It's like no, I'm finally actually committing to doing the healing work that's required, which includes expressing myself. And yeah, I'm gonna go actually now and watch one of my old healing videos and do that, and doing this every day, or various healing exercises I'm doing every day is great. It's actually very positive ultimately. So, uh, gonna be releasing my healing book soon. We'll post that here, obviously, on this channel. Share it with y'all if you are interested. Um, and so subscribe, and yeah, try the healing exercise out. Let me know what you thought of this, and what your experiences is. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.